to Valvetronic Designs. Now, we've got more 5.2 liter V10 content for you guys. Now, you will have seen our other videos with the Gen 2 cars, the STO, the Huracan Technica, and of course, the LP610 Huracans, us transforming the landscape for these V10 powered cars. Now, this development behind us was actually the most challenging, and here's why. The R-Tronic 6-speed cars have a very different wail throughout the rev range because there's one extra ratio. For those who like the E92 M3, you guys know how different a DCT car sounds to a manual car. They just have very different tones throughout the RPMs because of the extra ratio. So this car being 6 speeds, we really wanted to capture that Gallardo frequency that you get at around 4,000 or 5,000 RPM. The sound transitions to from the flat Gallardo sound to a really smooth, even firing sound in this vehicle. So it was very, very challenging to engineer using our double X pipe setup and actually having to use a bunch of mathematics and CFD analysis to get the links perfectly right so we could catch that frequency at the peak of its wavelength so we get as much exotic sound as possible. So we're very excited about the sound configuration for this V10 platform, and of course, this being a 5.2 liter early generation R-Tronic 6-speed V10 R8, we really wanted to capture the best sound that we could. In the video today, startup, revs, flybys, we're on the airstrip today, so we got all that sound ricochet you guys will be able to enjoy. This car is bone stock, and the configuration is as follows. It has our catback system, it has the factory headers, factory manifolds, everything's factory, no software, but it does have the primary cats removed from those headers. Easy job, that's very simple. And this sound configuration is as good as the V10 5.2 Gen 1 R8s can sound without having to do headers or any of that other wacky stuff. So we're gonna showcase all the sound characteristics you guys are gonna get to enjoy, sit back and relax, and enjoy the world's best sounding Gen 1 Audi R8. Let's get to it. right, people, Generation 1 Audi R8 V10. This car really brings me back to, you may have seen it like 4 or 5 years ago, the white Audi R8 V10 we had on the channel with the headers. That was actually my car. And, you know, we really chased the exotic sound as much as we could, but you just didn't get that Gallardo sound. Now, with all our engineering that we've been able to do for this platform, this thing is now super special. So we got about 140 degrees of oil temp, so we're gonna warm this thing up nice and slow, and then I really want to showcase how much resonance and excitement you get with this setup. Again, a bone stock car, completely stock. We've got our catback system, true F1, stainless steel, and we have the factory headers, factory everything, but it just doesn't have the primary cats in the headers anymore. That's it. So those two updates and modifications, you get such an incredible sound. And Shane's making a bunch of noise in front of us with that Miata. Cool thing is too, is this setup was designed and engineered to have ultimate flexibility even without the valves. So with the double X pipe configuration, you're getting so much velocity increase, and the way we've tuned the wavelength and the length of the system itself to get the best sound, you also don't get a lot of resonance and unwanted frequencies in the cabin. So right now, 38 miles an hour, 2,400 RPM. It's loud in here because it's, you know, basically a full straight pipe exhaust with no mufflers, no valves, but the resonance has been tuned to increase as you increase in the RPMs, not necessarily have that bassiness down low. That's attributed to, you know, some other like side dumps you can get for this car or other exhaust systems on the market. Like 6th gear, 1,800 RPM. Like it's the only thing we're hearing is Shane ripping in front of us in his Miata. So you don't even hear anything in here. I mean, I can honestly whisper to you, it's not that loud in here, which is really, really nice. If you're gonna have an Audi R8, you probably have a garage. You probably are gonna want to enjoy it with other people. Make sure that you can dial it back when needed. So that's a very important thing for us to be able to showcase to the enthusiast community is this is an exhaust setup without compromise. It's not a crazy amount of money. It's been designed and engineered to the nth degree. It's something that's available, it's in stock, it's something that you can actually purchase and have it show up. And, I mean, obviously Secret Weapon Fab kind of showcased the landscape for what might be possible, but that's headers, full exhaust, tune, software, all this stuff. You know, we're talking $25,000, $30,000 in investment. This is a bolt-on catback exhaust system with no compromises, and it's $5,000 retail. Whereas that system is like, I think it starts at 20, and they don't even make it for this car. So your only option to get this Gallardo sound is the Valtronic setup. The little windows down here, I want to showcase too, even at low speeds, the sound ricochet is really, really nice. Here we go, listen to this. Slow RPM climb. 3,000, it's R8, but then 4,000, Gallardo. Unique experience. It really is something special. Stock car, no software. obviously we know how important and special sound is for me and a lot of people who buy our products, but this really is, when we talk about something special, this really is just it. All right, people, well, that is personally, I think, the best sound that's ever come out of a 5.2 liter V10 engine. This sound configuration, whether it's for any of these 5.2 cars, Gen 1 R8s, STOs, Huracans, whatever it might be, we're really proud to transform the landscape for this car to something that's really, really special. Going back about 5 years, I had one of these cars. It was a 2014 V10 Plus, and even though I did headers and a crazy double X pipe setup, I couldn't get this quality of sound. But now with our in-house engineering team doing all that CFD analysis and all the wavelength testing so we could maximize the pitch at all RPMs, being able to achieve that goal makes us very, very proud. So if you're looking to get exhaust for your Audi R8 or your Huracan or Technica or whatever it might be, check us out at Valvetronic.com. We're building these systems right now here at our facility in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, so come check us out. And we look forward to making sure that all the R8s and Huracans beyond with that 5.2 liter odd firing engine sound as good as their predecessors, the 5 liter even firing cars. Stay tuned for the next video, guys. Take care. Thanks.